Hi and welcome to Roof's Restorations. In this video I'll be looking at this unusual piece, unusual to say the least, because basically I have no idea what it's really for. Two oak drawers on some very long legs, all pretty basic construction, but it's got two wings on the sides as well. I've no idea why, I've never seen anything like it before. The only thing I can think of is maybe it was a washstand and there would have been a bowl here, but there's no evidence of any watermarks on the top, any particularly bad watermarks anyway, on the top, making me think that that's what it was. So the reality is I've no idea. The hardware is solid brass and it's very much Art Nouveau in style. Perhaps that's a clue as to its age, but you can never really be sure. The basic construction is really strong, but somebody over time has repaired this merely by beating more and more nails into it. If we take a look around the side and the back, you'll see that there are just dozens of them. The biggest problem I'm going to have is getting rid of them all before I can figure out what needs to be genuinely repaired. But we'll give it a go. As I said, no idea what it is, but let's give it a clean up, give it a tidy up, and we'll see what we can make of it. Sometimes when using older screws, you'll find that the slot is too narrow for modern screwdrivers. So what I do is I buy old screwdrivers, grind the end down, grind the end to the size of the screw, and then it should be okay. It should fit in nicely. This particular screw's got a problem in that it won't undo because basically the slot has been damaged. So what I'm going to try and do here is to use an old trick, which is to try and tighten the screw first because the thread is good, the slot is good going that way. Then once I've moved the screw, try and move it back. Let's see what happens. There we go. It's not ideal, but it's coming out, and that's what we're after at the end of the day. Whenever you're taking a screw out that you've had problems with, always be careful because there's quite often a nasty burr on there. Like that. You can see the screw head is quite damaged, but we managed to get it out. I think we'll need to dismantle everything on this now. I don't think there's any prospect of trying to sand it or clean it up without it. It's all solid oak, so it should be easy enough to sand, so I think we just get on with dismantling it and see where we go. Trying to release things now is going to be a bit tricky because I'm not sure what I'm actually facing here. Okay, well, as I said, there's certainly a couple of nails in there, they're whoppers. So much muck in these that it's worth trying to clean them out before you unscrew them. Again, you may have noticed that I'm using an old pattern screwdriver, a London pattern screwdriver. I find them really sturdy and strong. That's the main thing about them. That's why they've lasted 60, 70, 80 years already. They also fit nicely in the slots. You can see that's from a solid piece of oak. It's been cut out with a coping saw or something. And as it's a single piece, that explains why this one isn't looking so well. Because obviously this one has suffered a bit of damage, which we'll have to sort out. But you can see that it's just split along the grain. Not a great emergency, but at least we can put it back together, and at least we've got all the pieces. Where do we go next is the question. You can see this piece of oak dowel, quarter dowel, has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 nails in it, so that might be a while. First of all, let's take the other end off. Again, we've got nails 1, 2, 3, none of which were obviously there when this, whatever it is, set out on life. You can see the advantage of having a screwdriver that's just as wide as the screw and that's just as narrow as the screw. It makes life so much easier when you're removing them and indeed putting them back. Three more nails this time, nice ones. What I'll have to do is start keeping these pieces apart until I can mark them up. Yeah, these are all cracked bit in various places. One to get out, I think. Yep. Yeah, there we go. For some reason, a long handle allows you to put more of your shoulder, I think it is, into the... Now, everything else on the back appears to be nails now, so I really got to take a chance now. It's just unbelievable how many nails have been driven into this to try and hold it together. More nails for the collection. Not sure if this hardboard will ever get used again, to be honest. Okay, so now it's the critical time of trying to get this off without doing too much damage, considering there's 5 million nails in it. Wow. That looks like an instrument of medieval warfare. I have no idea what the final nail count was, but it was pretty spectacular in anyone's book. This board appears to have quite a twist in it, and I can't really cut it out because it's going to make the board too thin. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and put a dowel in here and a dowel somewhere further up to try and at least hold it straight. Doweling isn't a favourite thing of mine, but let's see if we can get it to go. Okay, so hopefully we've got the two centre lines sorted out now. I'm going to use some of these very old traditional dowel pin markers. I'll drill the holes in one side, put the marker pins in, put the two sides together, bang them together, and hopefully I've got the place to drill the next one. If I try and use this ancient Wolfcraft drilling guide, at least hopefully it should keep me fairly vertical. So hopefully these pins will go in now. To try and keep things straight, I'm going to try putting this clamp just on the, to try and keep them straight there, because I can hold this side down. So as I, not sure where the mallet's gone, so I need a quick bit of improvisation to get these straight. I hold that one down as best I can. And hopefully we've got them marked, because if not, that's going to be a pain in the backside trying to get it back in a line again. Okay, those are three still in there. We've got 1, 2, 3 pin marks. Okay everybody, fingers crossed, here we go. That looks pretty good to me. It's fairly flat and it's fairly in the right place. So I think I'm happy with that. Let's move on to the next one. Let's do some sanding. Like, if you scribble a line on there,
here,
scribble some lines all the way across. That's it, and back. And again. And so blooming engraved nearly. Let's put it in gently, shall we? Let's do a
like
little...
my straight line.
Yes, just some delicate lines, okay?
Like mine, like this.
Just like that.
Okay.
Right.
Oh.
Not round, straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-drill these holes. I've already drilled 2 in here. I'll mark them up as I did before, put them on there, glue them up, and then we'll see where we go from there. Put them flat, put them against a piece of wood to make sure that we're in the right place. Give that a little tap. Not much of a tap, that's all we need is a little one. We've got 1 mark there and 1 mark there. This is a useless vise, it racks all the time, so if I put something heavy, something in this side and do it up tight, all it does is tighten this side up and this is still quite loose. And I've bought a new vise for here, so I'll be putting that on shortly. Maybe we'll show that in a different video. But what I'm going to use is, because I know this is the same thickness of wood, if I put that in at this end, I know that this is going to tighten up properly. What I do need to do is to make sure that I don't go in at an angle. If I use this just on the edge, it's a bit wobbly and you can end up with them all over the place. So what I've done is I've put this flat on the first surface of the bench so that this can sit crossways and then gets a much better surface to work on. As I said, now I can locate in that mark, and because I've got a much wider surface, I'm reasonably sure that it's actually going in vertical. Same again on this one. Okay, let's glue these up and see where we go. I decided to make sure that I did re-dowel it, because obviously we're trying to glue long grain to end grain. End grain never glues well, so let's just be safe. Better safe than sorry, as they say. As my old nan used to say anyway. Looking pretty good. As you can see, I've started plugging some of these screw holes. I need to do this one next, get this screwed in under here, plug that one. I don't think I'll plug the ones on the sides, I think it's only the top surface that I'll do, but we'll give it a go now. Right, let's get this back into position and start reassembling everything ready for the finish coat. That one appears to be okay, let's make sure that's in line. Yep. Right, once I've got this beading back on, it'll be time to give everything a final coat. So let's get on with it and get on to the final stretch. As I said earlier, this old backboard's got to go. It's a piece of old hardboard. Goodness knows how it got onto this piece in the beginning, because obviously it's been covered in paint. So what I'll be doing is replacing it with this new piece of ply. I know it's new, but it's the only decent piece of ply I had that would fit, so that's what it is. Thanks for watching this video. It was an enjoyable piece to work on. I hope you enjoyed watching. I'll leave you with some photos now, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.